Hello, hello, and welcome back to the 2020 Rehab Your Life Virtual Summit. I am your host, Karen Malone, and I have another speaker that you are definitely going to be interested in listening to. His name is Michael Turner. He is a family man and a business owner currently residing in Dallas, Texas. By way of Arizona, Michael moved his family to Texas in search of growth and opportunity to help and contribute to the causes that were considered to be bigger than him. Because of the love God placed in his heart, he gives as much as he can to those in need. While motivated to help others, he has joined a huge campaign to financially educate families around the country. Michael is a 10-year Texas insurance agent, gaining most of experience with State Farm, specializing in property and casualty as well as life and health insurance. He is currently the owner of Coverage for Life Insurance Agency, which is about 6 years old, and it services the entire state of Texas and Arizona. So help me invite Mr. Michael Turner to the virtual stage. Hi,
All right.
Michael. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Karen, for that warm introduction.
Thank you.
Uh,
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much for making yourself available to participate in the summit.
no problem. No problem.
So
Um,
I see that you have put your presentation up
I did.
and your title is going across the bottom. Are you financially illiterate? I am so excited to learn more about what you have to say. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the virtual floor.
Okay. Well, first off, I'd like to start off by telling everyone that I am part of the campaign. As you heard from Karen just recently, I am a business owner, own my own agency, but I am also part of this campaign to share uh, the part that we know that you should know. That's how I put it. So this campaign now is focusing on 30 million because it used to be 1 million, 1 million by 2020. But the campaign has been doing so well. The company is actually looking to become a household name. I'm not going to mention the name yet. Um, but we're looking at 30 million financially educated families by the year 2030. So, I mean, we're really out here trying to help people. So, if you're one of those families that know that you need, uh, something, some sort of structure, some sort of start over, because the thing that you've been doing has not been working and you can't figure it out, this is where you need to be. But anyway, I want to start off with the X curve. I think that's a good base to start with when it comes to asking yourself, am I financially illiterate? Um, I think the basis of the X curve, when you look at this, this blue part here that represents uh, your responsibilities here. This is representing your responsibilities decreasing. This black part, the black part of the X here represents your savings, your money. Now on this end here, this is the beginning. This is where you are right now. So right now you got all these responsibilities. You have food, shelter, clothing, education, health, your kids, your family, all that that you're responsible for. And then on the other end, that's your end result. That's retirement. That's because you've been doing all this planning and now you're here. You shouldn't have any responsibilities. Your responsibilities should be here. But also your money should have been going up, not down as you get to this part. And this is where a lot of people uh, end up in a situation where, you retire poor or you figure out, you know what, I can't even afford to retire. I have to go, greet at Walmart or greet at, Home Depot, things that matter. That's not everybody. I'm not saying that's everybody. Everybody's case is different. But this is a good basis to look at when you're looking at your life as a whole. So when you start here, of course, you got all these responsibilities. Um, You either have a little bit of a savings or no savings at all because, most people just don't save. They don't see the reason why they need to save or how to properly save for that matter. Um, so when you're here on this side, you got all these responsibilities and you're trying to make it to your end goal, which you probably written down. You probably have a plan. Well, you should have a plan, a map to get there. But what happens when life tells you something different? Life happens. You're not going to make it. So what this is saying is, here's your responsibilities. You're about This person here makes about $300,000 a year, it's just a lot compared to some. But let's just use this as an example. This person here makes 300,000 a year. This is their responsibility. So let's say something happens in between here to that person, that family or whoever that person takes care of. I'm pretty sure he's taking care of somebody or she's taking care of somebody with 300,000. I'm pretty sure if that goes away, that's going to be really missed. Uh, so what do you do to protect it? You have to protect your income. So let's just say this person has a family, kids, spouse, and they rely on that $300,000. Whether it's just that one person. Oops, sorry. Whether it's just that one person that that's bringing in the 300,000, or it's a collective 300,000. Either way, it's going to be missed, even if part of it is half of it is gone. But let's just say it's one person for this situation. So 300,000 is the total amount of responsibilities that this person have. So the question is, and I know it's a little blurry, how much protection and investment is enough? Uh, that's a good question. So let's just say this person makes 300,000 a year. You want to leave your family enough of your income to have time to adjust. So what that means is there's a formula here, just here if you can see my arrow, income replacement formula. Uh, that equals the annual income times 10. So you want to leave at least 10 years, and not necessarily saying you have to do that, but it would be good if you can leave your family 10 years of your income if something was to happen to you. What that does, it gives them time to adjust, outside of not having to stress and worry about money, or do a GoFundMe or, a fish fry to try to bury you. That's out the window. Now that's not even a worry. They get to mourn you in peace and not to have everybody in your business. So that's great. But now your family doesn't have to lose that lifestyle that you helped create. Your family doesn't have to move and move from and away from the things that they're used to having, the house, the things that they need for school or whatever the case may be. Um, there's always that case too of, the stay-at-home parent. There's a lot of stay-at-home dads now, great. And there's stay-at-home moms and things like that. And people think like, well, they don't make an income. This also works for them, but that's something that we can talk about later. So anyway, that's where life insurance comes in. Uh, if something was to happen to where this person did not make it to the end result, you can buy life insurance to protect your income. So you can make money, you can make a little money, or you can make a lot of money. You still need to protect your income, especially if you're creating a lifestyle with it. But let's talk about this in here. Um, so you got your blue part of the X here. This is your responsibilities again. And that means that as time goes on, your responsibilities should be getting less. Debt should be paid off. The house, the mortgage. You shouldn't have a mortgage. Nobody want a mortgage at the time they retire. You shouldn't have a mortgage. You shouldn't have a car note. Sorry about that. um, you want to eliminate all of these things so that you can live on as much of your retirement as possible. I'm not going to get into any retirement products or anything like that, but once you figure it out, once you get past this stage of, you know what, this is where I need to go. This is the idea. My responsibilities need to decrease, and my money need to go up. That's the goal. I need to make that happen by any means. Once you get to that point, you start to figure out things for yourself, and especially if you involve yourself in different programs. There are a lot of programs out there that are free that will educate you on how you can do these things. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in this presentation. So here on this end, basically the idea, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but the idea is for you to retire comfortably. And if you do it right, this illustration is saying that, hey, you should be able to live off of interest when you retire. Because when you're living off interest, it's kind of like a what they call an annuity type of, and there are annuities out there that you could use, but there's also other products that you can use just as well, to where you can live off interest by the time you retire, which in most cases help you not to outlive your money, which is the biggest concern when people retire, which is the biggest reason why some people don't retire, because they don't have enough. But anyway, I just wanted to go over this really quick. The concept of the X curve, to kind of implant that in your brain. If you're not working on, decreasing your responsibilities or having a plan to decrease your responsibilities, but also at the same time, you're putting away money and it's growing, and you got it in some sort of vehicle to where it's gonna pay off in the end. So, but anyway, I just wanted to talk real quick about the X curve. This is our life. This is where we are now. This is where we want to be. Um, I'm going to go to my next slide here, which is going to talk about some key elements on how this part of the X works. I'm not going to talk too much about this part because everybody's responsibility is different, of course. So I'm going to talk about the law of building wealth. Um, this is going to be basic information. I'm not getting into the technical stuff because everybody's on a different level. So I'm talking about basic here, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to get to my next slide, which is going to talk about, okay, now I don't want to go. Understanding how money works, the wealth formula. Okay. Now, the first key ingredient that's a part of this formula is money. Cash generation is the key function to start building wealth. It's not about how much money you make, but it's about how much money you keep. I'm not gonna get off into that, but it's definitely about how much money you keep to build wealth. Um, you need time to build wealth. You need time to stack and allow compounded rate of return, compounded interest, to do its job. The way we look at it in the basic sense, compounded interest basically, is your money working, while you're working. So your money is making money while you're out making money. I mean, that's a great concept. I mean, if you're not doing it, you should. The next part of that formula is the rate of return. So uh, where you save your money is just as important. A lot of people now are learning that, you don't get money. You don't get a lot of, you don't earn a lot of money when you put your money in the bank. For instance, some banks give you, 1% or even less than 1% on your money. But this is the flip side. A lot of people don't think about how much money is that bank making on my money. So they're taking your money and they're putting it in the market, and they're making whatever the market brings brings them for your money. But here they are giving you, 0.5 or zero, whatever it is, as a rate of return. You get a whole 25 cents extra in your account by the end of the year. Whoop-de-doo. But yeah, where you save your money is important. Um, the next part of this is inflation. You can't really do anything about inflation. The cost of living is always going to go up. It's never gone down as long as I've been living. Things have just gotten more expensive, more advanced. Houses, most of them haven't changed. Some of us live in houses that were built in the 70s and 80s, and they're worth 10 times more than what they were worth back then. So, I mean, the cost of living has gone up, and you have to take that in effect in your equation. And you'll learn more about that in different programs. If you apply these methods in understanding of money, it'll take you it'll take you where you need to be. But anyway, the next one is taxes. So inflation and taxes is kind of that inevitable thing that's going to happen. But here's the thing about taxes. It's a part of the formula that everybody thinks they can do nothing about. But I mean, you have to take into consideration when wealth building. Yes, you do, because you have to pay some sort of tax somehow. But did you know that you can decide when and how much tax that you can pay? I put here, you can decide when and how much Uncle Sam gets from you. Again, I'm not going to get into any details and things like that, but this is things that this information is out there, and there are people out there that are giving it away for free to help families, improve their situation. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The wealth formula here: money. You need money. You got to generate money. Plus time. Over time, as we look at that X curve, it just wasn't just one little straight line. It curved in an upward direction. So you need time to do that. And with that time, I put plus or minus rate of return. In the beginning, it should just be plus, because there are products out there that are only on the plus side and no negative. But as you advance and you get more into the risky part of investing, where you chance a gain or you chance a huge gain, but you also can chance a huge loss. That's where that plus or minus come from. But talking from basic finance, there are things where these two will just be plus. Okay, and then minus inflation and taxes. That equals wealth, ladies and gentlemen. That is the wealth formula. It's not a secret on how to build wealth. A lot of people think that, wealth is how much money you make. I'm making 120, 200, 500,000 a year. That's not wealth. That's cash generation. Again, it's about how much money you keep, not how much money you spend. So anyway, I'm going to go to my next slide here. It is not working like I wanted to. Okay, maybe that's why. There we go. All right. Nope. Sorry about that. Wasn't supposed to do that. All right. So this brings me into my next slide here, which is going to talk about one of those places that offer, well, kind of explain. I'm not going to talk about them. I didn't get the clearance to actually bring them into this per se, but it was kind of a short time here. But anyway, I want to talk about these financial workshops that are here in the U.S. in all 50 states. but we're talking about Texas. If everybody's here in Texas, you're in luck. We're all over Texas campaigning, but the workshops are free. These are free workshops. Um, you can learn learn how to build a financial foundation for you and your family. But these are the things that the workshops will go over within a 5 workshop program, and you can take these workshops as many times as you want, and they're free. And what they cover in these 5 workshops, you're going to learn about increasing your cash flow, managing your debt, building a strong financial foundation, learning how to have proper protection. We talked a little bit about that in the X curve, and that's just a small piece of it. Building wealth, asset accumulation, and retirement planning. You got to have a plan to retire. We all talk about. Well, I don't say we all talk about it, but we used to always have that talk, and I would talk to people. I would have that talk with people, and we all talk about retiring, and come to find out, some of my friends didn't even have a retirement plan, but they could talk about retirement. Got to have a plan in order for it to happen. But also wealth protection. So those things will be covered all in the workshop, those 5 workshops that are provided for free online and in a classroom setting. I do recommend getting the workshop book that goes along with it. So if you're one of those that actually reach out and you want to take advantage of these workshops, yeah, you would definitely want to take it, order the workshop book. I think it's like a few bucks. It's not even expensive, but that way it makes it interactive for you. And you can get a better understanding of these things. And it's going to talk about all of these things within 5 workshops. Okay. The goal is, to adjust and, get people adjusted to this new future. I know a lot of people are hearing about finance this, finance that, and wealth and, real estate, all this good stuff right about now. Investing, it is a good time to invest, but that's most of the reason why you're hearing about it. But I know a lot of people hear about this stuff, and we New World Order, all that good stuff. I don't know about all that, but but we are definitely heading into the future, regardless, and things are changing. The world is changing in unpredictable ways, and so is our financial future. Traditionally, we work for 40 years between the ages of 25 to 65, and then retire. But now younger people have difficulty finding gainful employment and struggle through their retirement years. And that goes to say, we talk about going into the future and how things are changing. Think about it when people actually stayed on their jobs for 30 years and retire with the pension and 401. How many jobs are offering that now? I can barely think of any that offer pension, let alone 401. You can get a 401, but that's like your supplement to your pension. That's not a full retirement. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. The obstacles that are going to come with this new future, going into the future, the obstacles that we have that we're going in with is poor saving habits. That's one of the things that we're facing right now. Poor saving habits. Number 2, fewer pensions are offered by companies, which I just mentioned. And then this is a big one here. I know a lot of people know about, the Social Security, especially if you grew up with people that were on Social Security. My dad was on Social Security. He was blind. He was a blind musician, but, so I know a little bit about Social Security, and we all have that little hope. And, that's our backup plan. If I don't have a retirement, I can at least pull Social Security because I've been working. But Social Security may become unstable. We keep hearing about that, and yeah, you just don't want to lean on just that route and have that as your one plan. I'll just say that. So my next slide talks about the spending crisis. So the first one was the bad habits that we have. We have a spending crisis also. Budget deficit, a budget deficit, and rising national debt will increase pressure on the government to raise taxes and reduce funding. Well, we already know that. Some people on spend more on things that they don't need with money that they don't have. Um, some people are falling, for the credit card, or just not using the credit cards correctly. Uh, and it's hurting them more than it is helping. And number three, keeping up with social media friends can get expensive. And yeah, a lot of us know that. All right. So, what is your situation right now? Do you have problems paying bills? Are you concerned about your job or career? Are you paid what you're worth? Are your children or parents growing up and old faster than you can provide for them? And hats off to all those folks out there that are taking care of their parents. Uh, I think that is a very good thing that you're doing, a very godly thing that you're doing, taking care of your parents, um, giving back to them, as they done to you, growing up. But anyway, last thing, do you feel that a financial trap is affecting your family? Do you feel financially trapped? I don't have a way to go. That these are the people that are needing to restructure and reform their financial plan, and need to go out and take advantage of free education. I'm offering free education through the campaign, and again, there's others out there as well. But I say all that to say, and I wrote this here. It's crazy that some of us will work hard all our lives and will still retire poor. We'll just work all of our lives until we can't work anymore. Um, so let that not be you. Do something about it. If you need to get some things in order, get it together, and make things happen. So I want to talk about lack of financial knowledge. The title of this was "Are You Financially Illiterate?" Um, you know, Not to come down on people, but I mean, it's a question you have to ask. And believe it or not, I ask myself all the time, um, what is there that I don't know? Because, yeah, of course, I have to do CE for the state. I have to continually educate myself outside of that because things change, with insurance and stuff like that. I have to keep up with all that stuff. So I have to be educated on that. But I'll be honest, I probably forget more stuff than I can remember. But anyway, lack of financial knowledge. Because of the financial education gap, many were not taught how to manage their money or read a financial statement. Financial issues may not be discussed. I mean, these are reasons why, a lot of people have lack of financial knowledge. It's not because you're dumb. It's not because you missed something in school. Uh, it really stems back to, one of the things, which is that first one, it's the financial education gap. Somewhere down the line, we took a detour and, you know, on come on comes generational curses. But anyway, because of the financial education gap, many were not taught how to manage their money or read a financial statement. Financial issues may not be discussed, and financial products are not always understood, which I understand greatly from my end, which is why I simplify things and I try to go out of the box when it comes to dealing with people. So I can help them understand what they're doing, whether it's auto insurance, home insurance, or whatever it is. I want them to understand what this policy is doing. You're paying for it not because you have to have it. Think about, what is it going to do? What is it protecting you from? How is it helping you financially? Because a lot of these policies have financial, how can I say it? They have financial perks. Let's put it that way. I'll say it that way. They have financial perks that will benefit you greatly if used correctly. Um, to move forward, some buy in insurance policy and they bury it in their closet. That one and the other one goes hand in hand. Some pay into their employer's retirement plan and don't pay close attention to it. If you pay your retirement, you never looked at or read over and understood your pamphlet before you signed up. In that pamphlet, it'll tell you, that you have risk of potential loss. That plus or minus that we talked about in the wealth formula. Yeah, you definitely plus or minus in that 401k. Just put it that way. All right. So a large number of people do not have a will, a trust, or a plan to protect their family. You got a plan. I mean, we all know what happens when you don't plan. Got a plan, and there's plans out here. All right, so I'm going to move to my next slide. I think I'm probably moving fast or moving slow. I don't know how much time I have, but we'll move to this next slide here. So the future is in your hand. I'm about to wrap up. The future is in your hand. Way too often we rely on the people around us to manage our lives. And that's another thing that's hurting the financial education within the families right now. We rely on the professionals to be the know all be all. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I've been doing what I've been doing for 10 years. I know people that have been doing it way longer, and they're not the know all be all. They have a lot of information. We have a lot of information, but I tell you again, I can forget more stuff than I can remember. Doesn't mean I don't know it, but we have ways around that. That's why we're a team. That's why we have underwriters. That's why we have all that good stuff. Somebody's there, always there to keep regulations in place. So the future is in your hand. Way too often we rely on the people around us to manage our lives. Way too often we put our financial responsibility in the hands of employees, unions, government, and most of all, banking brokers. We look at them as, oh, they got the expert, but no, you need to understand this stuff too, just as much as they do. You need to do your part to understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what are your risks. And we spend so many years in school learning how to make a living when we should also invest our time in learning the financial basics to save us fortunes. Okay. So life is about choices. I say that to say, again, if you're not doing anything, if you've been doing the same thing and you have goals of getting ahead, but you have no plans of getting there, you may need to reconstruct your financial plan. And I'm telling you, don't let your education block you from basic information. I know a lot of people out there, I got a bachelor's, I got this, that. Don't let it fool you. Get the basic information, try to come up with a plan from there. Continually educate yourself, and it's not going to happen overnight. This is something that you have to build. You have to learn to build habits, which is tough. It's not just going to happen. You have to create these habits. You have to learn them. I'm not saying I'm in order, but you have to learn. You have to be disciplined. All of those things to change your lifestyle. So you change what you're doing because you're learning something. As we say, When you know better, you do better. So if what you're doing is not working, you know, put your education aside and say, hey, let me get this basic information because yeah, I'm making all this money, but I'm not getting anywhere. I can buy more stuff, but I'm not getting anywhere. Or I want to learn how to invest. You know, how can I invest? Don't just go off buying stuff and you're not protected. Um, Life is about choices. So, what will your future look like 5 years from now? I mean, a lot of us can say, you know, what that is because we have a plan, and but there's a lot of us out there that haven't even thought about it. You know, with that being said, I want to say, save your future. Learn how money works. Get rid of debt and cut expenses. Have a future financial goals and plan. Um, you got to have that. Save for your children's future. There's ways of doing it. I mean, what I'm saying, a lot of people they're just thinking about putting money in the mattresses and in the bank. And I'm not talking about 529 anything like that either. But there are strategies and plans out there that can get you there. Uh, and most of all, you want to pass along generational wealth. Um, so life is about choices. You want to make those good choices and lifestyle changes to make things happen that you want to see happen in the future. So you got to have a plan to do that. So I want to end my slide there. It looks like that's my last slide. And just to kind of recap over what we just talked about, I know I can get a little off subject, well, not off subject, but a little into detail about some things and get back to it. But just to recap, I'm a part of a campaign to educate. We are looking for other people to that have a heart to help and share to help bring families out of these situations. Um, we're all looking for people that want to join the campaign as well, regardless of your walk or background. Share what you learn, even if you don't know anything. You take advantage of workshops. You're going to learn a lot in those workshops, and in any other educational platform out there that's teaching you. But I do know that these workshops are teaching you the core basics, and to some of you, it's not going to be basic stuff. I mean, just we're talking about retirement, government, Medicare, stuff like that. But these are things that you need to know about so you can have a proper plan to protect you and your family's future. I'm going to cut here. I'm not sure how long I've been going, but Karen, are you still there?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much. You gave definitely more information than I thought you were going to give, but it was all worth it. I was taking notes. I love how you said that we need to reconstruct our financial plan. A lot of people think that what they have going on is working and it may not be working. And so I love that comment that you made. And then you said money plus time. And that's where a lot of people, we think it's supposed to be quick.
Yeah.
And plus or minus the rate of return. Because sometimes we get into a good deal. Sometimes we get into a not so good deal. Minus inflation. We can't do nothing about that. Minus taxes. Right. Can't do anything about that. But all of that together equals wealth. And I like the point that you made too, where it's like people talk about, well, I make 200,000, I make 500,000. You said that's just money. That's just getting money. That's not really wealth, because until you pay your debtors, you don't really know how much money you actually have maintained for yourself.
Right.
So I love the points that you made. And I know that we are short on time. We both actually have appointments that are coming up right now. So Thank you so much for your expertise and for making yourself available to participate in the summit. And I look forward to working with you in the future. I know you have a financial needs analysis offer that is going to be on our website. So, anyone that wants to connect with Mr. Turner to learn more and to see if you are financially illiterate, please go to our resources link. Thank you so much, Michael.
No problem, Karen. Thank you.
Thank you and have a great rest of your day.
You too.